everyone. We are so happy to be here with you today for this conversation around celebrity brands and hair care, and more specifically, how we move from simple endorsements to co-creation. This is such a timely topic because the way consumers relate to celebrities and celebrity brands has shifted massively in the past few years. Today, we'll explore 3 big chapters together. The first one being the right match, values and visibility. The second one, choosing the right cultural territories. And lastly, the third one, moving from image to co-creation and activation. Part 1, the right match, values and visibility. How do you identify the right personalities to carry a brand with purpose? Let's start with what seems simple, but is often not so much. Choosing the right personality to carry a brand's purpose, their message, connect and convert with audiences. In the past, it was often about reach, who has the biggest audience, or who is hot off the press. There were fewer options in a sense. We would only look at Hollywood actresses and actors. Today, reach in itself is not enough. Both as consumers and marketers, to get that connection, we need more than fame, than notoriety. There needs to be an authentic connection somehow. In one or many aspects is what connects, what drives stories nowadays. On the other hand, consumers are overwhelmed by seeing the same celebrities fronting too many campaigns, and at a point you don't even recognize the brand, but you see the same face everywhere. This overexposure creates what we call celebrity fatigue. The message becomes unclear and unrelatable. People don't even remember which brand a celebrity represents anymore. In too many faces creates no brand memory, which creates overexposure that kills influence. In going back to our point of authenticity, consumers are incredibly educated now, especially in the beauty space. We're erudite. Their knowledge keeps on increasing, especially with all the expert voices flooding our screens, like Dr. Shireen Idris, Abby Young, and the Lipstick Lesbians. With all that knowledge, consumers, especially younger generations, want authenticity. They crave it because they know when something is off, when the story's just not there, and they're more sensitive to that. Because nowadays, with social media, it's not only about buying, it's also about showing those brands emotional capital on social media. Consumers don't want fake glamour, fake stories, and a connection that isn't palpable. They want to have the aha moment, oh my God, she's perfect for that campaign, and of course they chose the moment. If a celebrity is just cashing a check, the audience spots it instantly. And authenticity and credibility go really truly hand in hand. This is why we've seen the rise of backstage experts and influencers as brand partners. Before, if you admire or wanted to look or feel like, let's say, Cindy Crawford, Salma Hayek, or nowadays Sabrina Carpenter, you had to wait until Vogue interviewed them and try to piece together all of the clues to their beauty and hair tips. But now, we have a direct line with their hairstylist, their nutritionist, their estheticians, their makeup artists, with all of their knowledge, experience, and tricks. The decoding is no longer needed. Take Color Wow. Instead of just hiring a random celebrity with amazing hair, they partner with Chris Appleton, the hairstylist behind Kim Kardashian and Jennifer Lopez. His credibility as the actual expert makes him the perfect ambassador. We want JLo's Super Bowl whipping hair. We now know where to look and the products to use. Similarly, Chris McMillan, the hairstylist who created the Rachel for Jennifer Aniston, which is iconic, launched his own hair care line in 2025. And it already has traction because his expertise is undeniable. He went on the Breaking Beauty podcast, and without missing a beat, he goes, I give a great blowout. And this is my secret weapon, his hero product, the smooth blowout spray from his line. And that's all we need as consumers to then just click on add to cart and try to see if the promise he delivered on this podcast actually comes true. When personal use becomes proof, credibility then skyrockets. Though expertise is not always a must, what it brings to the table is a connection, an authentic angle to the story. They can communicate without sounding too scripted, without sounding like it's something that I need to make up or I need to something that conveys. For example, when Jennifer Aniston decided to give Courtney Cox a blowout as part of her TikTok content from her hair care brand Lola V, saying, it's the best moment of her life. I finally get to give Courtney a blowout. There's so much story there. She's giving us the perfect commercial content. It's a show me, make me feel, make me laugh, or make me learn, not just telling us consumers, buy this. That connection is something that influencers can also bring to the table. And this is why they compete directly with celebrities for a brand spotlight. Many brands in markets like India now prefer creators who build genuine community relationships, while celebrities catch up by investing more in the social media. But it's not a this or that. It all depends on the social capital that celebrities hold. They can still bring prestige, timelessness, connection, and reach. Think of, let's say, Dua Lipa or Jennifer Garner, who embody that idea of being an accessible star. And here's the key point for us. Top-tier talents matter most at the top of the funnel. They are the spark that creates awareness, aspiration, and cultural heat. Think of them as funnel openers. They bring scale and aspiration, while influencers in pros bring depth, community, and conversion. Together, they cover the full funnel. And let's be clear, image alone is not enough anymore. Successful campaigns need creativity, strong messaging, and a relevant story. For instance, Biolash with Pamela Anderson works so well because Anderson truly embodied that brand values. The natural part, cruelty-free, sustainable, and focused on self-discovery. It didn't feel fabricated at all. The campaign was authentic, elegant, and meaningful. I personally loved the good BS versus the bad BS campaign video. On the other hand, the launch of Blake Lively's Haircare brand in 2024 fell flat. The storytelling felt off, the product range felt incomplete, and the timing a little bit controversial since it's overlapped with her film about domestic violence. That clash between a heavy social theme and a light beauty launch felt tone deaf. It's all about moments. It's all about that coherence. And a face is not enough. You need a story that is coherent and resonates with the audience or that product, or of course, your brand. Now we're going to talk about the territories in the context of activation. Where should these collaborations take place? The cultural territory matters as much as the celebrity. We have seen more convergence of territories recently, and in the past, sport and beauty were seen as completely two separate worlds. Today, sports like F1 or the NBA are at the very heart of pop culture, with stars becoming fashion and lifestyle icons. Choosing the right territory means choosing the right audience, and it doesn't have to be matchy-matchy. That disruption can be golden. It opens up to a massive amount of opportunities. For example, 40% of F1's audience today is female. That opens up massive opportunities for beauty and hair care brands. That's why we see figures like Lando Norris with Ralph Lauren or Pierre Gasly with Givenchy perfumes. Smart alignment between audience and brand. Timing is also key. Short-term event activations can capture cultural momentum. Think the Olympics, Fashion Week, or tennis tournaments. A great example is Oribe, which collaborates with fashion houses at New York Fashion Week, styling runway looks that embody creativity and luxury. The right moment can turn an instant into momentum. But beyond short-term buzz, long-term partnerships create stronger growth and profitability. The golden formula is 60% branding and 40% activations. Look at Pattern Beauty by Tracy Ellis Ross. It took nearly 10 years of product development before its launch in 2019. Rooted in her own experience with texture hair, this year the brand ran its first national TV campaign, bringing authenticity and cultural resonance. That long-term vision is what builds brand equity. Short-term attracts, long-term builds. And here's where we need to highlight ROI. What truly drives ROI is the content we generate from these partnerships. Hero global campaigns create big cultural splashes, but their value multiplies when the markets adapt them. They cut them into PR hooks, stitch them with local creators, use them in pro communities, or tie them to events. This is where ROI is unlocked. This is also transforming institutional videos to social media friendly content. People don't like when we point out to a product and just plaster buy on it. They want to connect to it, and a celebrity moment that is not rooted in perfection is a great funnel opener. The Redken with Sabrina Carpenter tour is a best-in-class example. The global team signed her, but it became a massive success because every single market activated differently locally. Markets secured tour tickets, invited local creators as well as pros, and made it a cultural event. Hero content at a global scale multiplied ROI at a local scale. And the real power comes from mixing both. Long-term brand vision and short-term energy. That's how you get that durable equity while keeping cultural relevance alive. Now on to our third part, from image to co-creation and activation. Finally, let's talk about the evolution from using a celebrity's image to involving them in co-creation and activation. Consumers now expect celebrities and influencers to play a real role in the process, whether that's co-designing products, shaping campaigns, or sharing behind-the-scenes stories. Authenticity is born when the personal touch is visible. For example, think of Nespresso working with Pierre Hermé on creative capsule collections. It wasn't just his name, it was his artistry, shaping the products, or even all the campaigns that Cedric Goulet did and recently working with Jisoo. In Haircare, Redken with Sabrina Carpenter works so well because she didn't just pose for ads. She shared her routines, highlighted her hairstyling team, and embodied the brand's ambitious magnetic energy. Her fan base felt included in a lifestyle, not just a sales pitch. In her own way, the videos were tailored to her way of communicating, writing her songs, rather than her adapting to the Redken voice. No commercial pitch, just shared values. Another powerful lever is community participation. When fans are invited to vote, engage in Q&As, or see behind-the-scenes processes, they feel ownership. And when fans feel included, they become co-authors of the success of the campaign. Take, for example, Huda Beauty. She created the iconic baking powder for under your eyes. But a lot of her consumers had feedback on the fact that the fragrance made it a little bit harsh on their sensitive skin. But at the same time, they loved that fragrance. She took it in stride and took the feedback to create a fragrance-free powder as a new product, and she also bottled that fragrance that her consumers love so much, debuting her perfume line. So when fans vote, they become part of the story. And finally, building long-term dynamics is essential. A strong example for this is Chanel with Angèle. Their relationship evolved step by step over the years, from inviting her to the shows, to small activations, and finally to her fronting a major campaign alongside Kirsten Stewart. This slow build created authenticity and credibility on both sides. Trust is built over time, is not in an instant, and all of this is amplified by storytelling across platforms, from teasing, sparking anticipation with authentic cues, to main campaigns that are emotional, platform-tailored narrative, to post-mortem, analyzing results, learning, and improving with each single step. Every stage is part of writing the brand story. Global provides the contract, local extracts the value. From teasing to post-mortem, every step writes the brand story. So if we step back, what do we see? The era of simple celebrity endorsements is over. Today, success in haircare partnerships relies on 3 principles, which can be applied to all levels of influence, from global edgeries to local ambassadors. First, the right match. Choose talents aligned with values, not just reach. Secondly, the right territory. Activate in cultural spaces where your audience is emotionally engaged. And third, the right role. Give talents and their communities a true role in co-creation and storytelling. And layered across this, we see the funnel in action. Top-tier talents drive awareness and aspiration at the top. They can start a conversation if storytelling is done properly. At this point, if there is no spark, no pulse in the story, then it can just be flat. That content then drives engagement and ROI to the middle. When top-tier content is adapted to the market and also turned into the right social media content, not just reproducing and reposting the same video in different cuts. It gives us entertainment, it gives us value, a lesson, and that aha wow moment. Local markets finally activate at the lower funnel with PR, pros, and creators. Because in the age of fandom, it's no longer about putting a famous face in a product. It's about purpose, presence, and participation. When brands and celebrities co-create authentically, they don't just sell products, they build culture, trust, and lasting brand love. I have also had to balance local and global initiatives, and I wanted to share 3 rules that we have developed over time. 1. There needs to be an alignment between the local and global teams. This way, when the general contract and terms are negotiated, the interest of most and hopefully all partners are taken into account, and then the orchestration of the whole campaign can be developed smoothly in every step of the way. Second, unlocking that community love, that local PR, local fans, local cultural moments that fit the passion point of the ambassador or creator, but that also align with the purpose of the whole campaign. Taking into account that social media is global, so there will always be a resonance beyond the market voices. And last but not least, and my favorite, is that there needs to always be constant open communication lines between local and global markets, so opportunities are not missed. I find it so important that brands, as they have crisis management teams, should also have opportunity management teams to be able to jump into cultural moments, opportunities, and potential trends to enhance the message. Let's say Pamela Anderson is coming on holidays to France. Why not have that BLH care package waiting for her at the hotel for that extra layer of momentum, authentic connection? Because messages and products are memorable when the messages are repeated through the different content pillars and angles, like emotional, entertaining, commercial, and of course, the most importantly, authentic. Thank you so much. I hope you had a good time during this video and you learned many new things that will help support local and global endeavors at L'Oreal.